Hey there, cool cats. Just after COVID, my headspace was in a pretty bad way. Stuck at home, my job as a tour guide obviously wasn't a thing anymore because international travel wasn't happening. We had to stay at home anyway. Had a lot of excess time on my hands, no job, which affected my purpose, which affects my self-esteem. No good, mate. I ended up finding a job delivering fruit and veggies for a community garden, organic fruit and veggie supplier here in Melbourne. I met a chap there who told me about a yoga studio that was only just across the park from where I was living at the time. So I went there and I started to do some yoga. It was great. I had been a member of a gym, again, prior to COVID for the first time in a long time, and noticed that I did feel really good after the physical activity, but gyms aren't really my thing. So I went and checked out this yoga studio and met some amazing people. One of those people is a woman by the name of Pavla. The most amazing energy, connected with her almost immediately. She just sort of has that way about her. And through having a chat with her, she told me she's a healing arts facilitator. So I was a bit curious about what that is and ended up going off to do some work with her. We did 12 sessions altogether, and I really benefited from it. It's a bit hard for me to explain what it was all about, so I figured, why should I when I can go straight to the source? So a couple of days ago I sat down with Pavla, and she was lovely enough to give up some of her time to sit down and have a chat with me about what it is she actually does, so I can let you guys know. Yeah, beautiful practice. Even just yoga gets the heart pumping, get the blood flowing. Feels great, that release of endorphins that comes with activity, with physical activity. Amazing, natural high. So, and fortunately enough for me, off the back of that, I came across this beautiful woman, this beautiful energy, and the rest is history. So check out this next little bit where Pavla and I sit down and talk about what it is she does. Take it away, Pavla.
Good afternoon.
So I'm back in this beautiful room where so much healing happened. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I've mentioned earlier that, after a bit of a difficult time in life, coming out of lockdown and sort of losing mum and, being faced with all these challenges, that the universe guided me to finding you, and I was able to, spend some time working with you on some healing. So if I was to explain it, it would be very centered around my experience. Perhaps you can explain to the folks around sort of the work that we did together.
So essentially, as you know, we work with energy. We work with the energetic field that is around us, that is us. And when we experience trauma, when we experience pain, when we are unable to express our emotions, don't feel supported in life, it all kind of builds up. Okay. And essentially we become like these ticking bombs. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and then we react to everything, and there's triggers and breakdowns and burnouts, and it's just pretty much just wearing us down. Mm-hmm. And so you have lived a lot of your own, share of pain and difficult situations in life. Yeah. That you were holding on to.
Certainly was.
And so in our weekly sessions, we were able to get into your field and just gently, one by one, opening up the body, opening up the energetic field and releasing it, and then reprinting the field with different beliefs, different mindset, different patterns, how we want to operate life, and different energetic frequencies as well. Yeah. Would that explain it in a way how you've experienced it?
It definitely does. The you mentioned there about the ticking time bomb, so I guess you're like the bomb diffuser of the of the
Yes.
negative energy. You know?
Watch
The
out.
red wire or the blue wire. Come both and start again. Excellent. Yeah, so I think one thing that I certainly learned from you and carry with me today, and while, you know, I am up and down with my practice, I do know that even if I'm away for a while, it's always there to come back to. And, you know, I have noticed that when I do stop to practice for a while, I do notice a change in the energy. I just feel sluggish. It just feels like it's getting heavy. But I know through what I learned from you that the practice is always there. You can just go back to it and then reconnect. And like the proof, I think, from our work together was around this internal thought process, this doom and gloom that, you know, becomes really, I suppose, contagious. And, you know, every day that gloom is a little bit heavier, and it's based around how I'm thinking, what I'm saying, you know, it's one thing to think this negative, in my experience, it's one thing to think this negativity, but as soon as I speak it, it becomes that little bit more powerful and gets stuck in that field a bit. So having the opportunity to come in here and have that released, and as you say there, it was ways, you know, working on different ways of thinking, different belief structures, was fantastic, because, you know, I can lie to myself around all this positivity to try and negate the negativity, but if it comes from a place of deception, then it's not going to work. But actually being able to be in touch with the positivity that's in the energy, that's in the universe, has made a big difference. You know?
Essentially, what we are doing in this work is coming back to ourselves. It's coming back to ourselves. And when the painful stuff happens in life, we kind of lose track for a while, and it takes over. And as a result of it, our unconscious mind, our ego, creates these protective mechanisms. I'm not going that way anymore. It was very painful. It's better to stay safe and keep sabotaging and hurting myself and drinking and having like relationships in my world that are not serving me, because that's what I know and it is safe. While all along we are destroying ourselves, right? So it's almost like people want to have different experiences in life, but unconsciously it's like the operating system is running on the old wiring, so it's pull and push. It's not flowing. And so we need to acknowledge that it's not about lying to ourselves. It's not about, oh, love and light and hallelujah, everybody will be living happily ever after. It's about facing this this pain that's inside of us. And every single one of us has a story. You are not better than me. Mine is not more painful than yours. You know, like we all have a story. But how we choose to address it and take it is totally up to us. I can be the victim of it, and forever we're saying, "Oh, look at me!" But it's so much harder. It's you did that, but look at me, like. Or we can fucking own it and say that's it. Our experiences do not define who we are; they make us, and that's the strength. And so this beautiful practice that you were talking about, we call Hara, that helps us to come back to the alignment of who we are. And why it is so powerful, it brings us into the present moment. So you don't get stuck in the stories of what was in the past. And you don't get stuck in the stories what might happen based on the experiences of the past. And I'm laughing because that's what we were just talking about. And so we need to understand the thoughts are just kind of playing the old stories of what they know. Because it's safe and because that's what we know. And once we are in the Hara practice, there's no thoughts. And so everything can kind of settle inside. And we work with the intention, right? What do I want from my life? What do I want from my relationship? What do I want from myself?
Yeah.
How do I want even tomorrow to be? What is the intention and how do I show up? And if we can take every day, tiny little step, that's how we create long-lasting change.
Yeah.
And this energetic work is a beautiful way to support it.
Agreed. But the thing I found really refreshing, and through my recovery journey, I suppose, and living with my mental health stuff, which has been a superpower at times. The work that we did together, it was about owning that. Too often I've gone to see doctors, and there's a time and a place, whatever. But where it's been a case of, right, how can we fix this? How can we fix you? How can we, make the fact that these troubles in the past don't affect you anymore? Whereas I feel, and excuse me if I'm wrong, that the perspective that you're coming from is that we don't need to fix you. We don't need to negate those past experiences. They all make you who you are. Let's learn from those, incorporate those into your energy and grow from that. We each have our baggage we carry around, but let's have that there, experience it, learn from it, and become the best version of ourselves, knowing that that's there. Rather than trying to get rid of it and ignore it and move from it. I always think I've been able to understand that all those experiences are what makes me me. Absolutely. And working with you, I've been able to accept that and say, well, maybe it wasn't great at the time, but it's brought me to where I am today.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be happier about where I am today. So clearly those traumas were necessary.
Necessary lessons. And you said one beautiful thing, which I believe in deeply. There is nothing to be fixed. Yeah. We are whole, beautiful beings already. We just need to often remind ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's as simple as it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy always, and often in the work as well that we do, we feel the pain again. When I was doing my own healing of my heart, and I spent 3 days in bed crying, I was unable to move. There was so much that I've been carrying, not only from my own journey, but my ancestors and the country I came from, and so everything is connected, right?
Yeah.
But once we can hold it and own it, then the other side is absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's too easy these days for people to, be living their own experience and looking outward at other people and saying, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish I was this, or I wish I was that, and allow yourself to sit in that position and go, well, you know what? I'm not the best person around. And, I may not be the best person around, but I'm the best
Dankoo
around. And I'm happy with that. I am the best version of me that there will ever be. So that's enough, man.
Just owning it.
Yeah.
And everything. And I've trammed this over and over into you and everybody that walks through these doors is how can we bring it all back to self-love? And something that has certainly changed my life, and I know you've got good awareness of that as well, is taking what is around us, the reality around us, the people in our world, what are they showing us? There's something that happens and I don't really like it. What is it showing me? Like if we speak very about myself, right?
Yeah.
So if we speak very simple energetic principles, like attract likes, likes attract like, likes attract, whatever, you know what I mean.
Like attracts like. Yes.
Yeah. She can't speak English, but she's trying. Let's love her anyways.
Exactly, of course we do.
Yeah, there we go. And so there's something active in our field. as a little girl, I was told I'm fat, I'm stupid, for example, I'm not good enough, then my self-worth would go
Mm-hmm.
I'll be a tiny little fly in the wall just to be invisible, and that is like a cookie cutter for my life. Yeah. As opposed to, okay, that might have happened. This is how, and it's deeper than that, because all these experiences, and you understand that from your work as well and your studies, that the first 7 years of our life create the reality of who we are, if we like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You might be looking at our parents and say, fuck, I'll never want to be like you, you know, but essentially we will get caught in the same story because we are programmed in the exactly same way. So whatever our parents were showing us, whatever their way of love and nourishment and understanding was, that's what we become. That becomes our blueprint. And so if there is not that beautiful support and that beautiful understanding, then we get to experience a very different reality and create very different reality for ourselves. Yeah, there's a family of violence, alcohol abuse, blah blah blah, fear. There's a family of love, support, nourishment. 2 very different worlds.
Definitely.
And going back to the lessons, though, this person that was living the pain is no less than the person that was nurtured. And so, if anything, we get to build resilience and we get to learn from that. And when we dive into it, when we dive into the old stories, the old belief systems that the ego creates, the unconscious mind to keep us safe, and we untangle it, it's like this beautiful game, we untangle it, clear the canvas, say no more of this shit. Let's start again, right? And start bringing the fresh ideas, the fresh beliefs, the beautiful visions where we want our life to be. That's how we change our world. And it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. And often I've got people here, you know, clients with stage 4 cancer. They come in and say, Pavla, help me. And we tune in, and everything is suppressed emotions. If we don't learn how to express, how to release the energy from the body, we've got 7 bodies, but the physical body gets affected, and the disease manifests as a result of it. So we can drink 100 smoothies a day and drink green juices and fast, but if we are not dealing with our emotional baggage, with the minds that we put into the field and come through our mind, our brain, there's no way. So everything is alignment. It's and the wholeness of all health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health. Everything is connected, and if we look at it as a beautiful big piece, and don't try to chop it and cut and just take just a little bit of this. If you look at it as a whole, then that's how we come back to the wholeness of who we are on all levels, right?
You mentioned there, you know, the spiritual health and the spiritual side of the personality of the energy. So I have been questioned before, and I know that this is a topic we've spoken about already, that it's a bit awkward, where people have suggested, you know, how does this practice, you know, does it conflict with my faith around organised religion? And it's easy for me to sit back from my perspective as somebody who, you know, who joined your practice and had healing from you, to say, no man, it doesn't at all. It's a completely separate issue. The two are not mutually exclusive at all. But from somebody who has been living this journey for, you know, a lot longer than I have, you know, what would you say on that subject? Would I be wrong in suggesting that the, faith in potentially a man-made belief structure has no bearing on a person connecting to their energetic self?
Religion is a very personal choice, and it might represent very different things to different people.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to acknowledge that. How can we allow a religion inflict with the idea of who we are? Yeah. So when we talk about God, when we talk about creation, when we talk about universe, whatever it is, it's just labels for the same thing.
Yeah.
And certain organizations took these labels and created a certain pictures of it. Doesn't mean one is better or worse or whatever. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And so if we look at it from the kind of scientific point of view, at the beginning of creation, there was sound. Yeah, and we all know the Om sound that often comes with meditation, with yoga practices, the Eastern philosophy. That was the first sound, and from that sound, vibration got created, and the vibration turned into frequency, and the frequency created color, and combination of all those, we start having geometric patterns, and those patterns create matter.
Yeah.
So all we are, you, me, my cat, your cat, are this beautiful pulsating energy. Yeah. Even though when we touch, it's hard, even this table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we touch it, it's and so we all are that creation of the God, universe, whatever we choose to call it. And it doesn't have anything to do with which church I go to pray to, or which God I choose to worship. Yeah. It's about understanding that we are part of something bigger, something beautiful, and if we can flow, we've got this expansion, contraction. That's the universal law. Yeah, I give in, I receive. Yeah, something comes in, something comes out. There's then day, then there is light, and there's this beautiful, beautiful energetic dance, and that's what we are. And if we, what we talked about earlier, if we don't process the emotions, the pain, the dance stops, and there is density, and there is blockages essentially. Yeah. And if the energetic centers don't have the support from the creation, whatever we choose to call it now, and also earth, there's these two connected very strongly, which we can cover with the practice when we go through that. Then our organs are not receiving enough nourishment and support. The meridian lines that they drive the energy into the organs, and then we start declining in health because everything is connected. So we need to acknowledge that we are part of something bigger than just this physical vessel that is hard matter. It feels, and just work with that. Yeah, so it makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. You've put it far more.
So what do you reckon? Did that make sense? I hope so. If you are interested in reaching out to Pavla or finding out a little bit more about her work, check her out on her socials here. I will be posting a Hara meditation guided by Pavla some stage soon. It's a meditation I use daily and find it very helpful with my anxiety, my panic, just finding myself some peace and some grounding. I'll do it at the bottom of the ocean while I'm scuba diving. Occasionally do it at red lights in traffic if I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the situation. Be careful, keep an eye on the green, but it can be a really good way of just letting go of, you know, whatever it is that's holding you back in your day. All right, y'all, travel well. Peace out. Ciao.
Before you go, I'd just like to explain to the best of my knowledge, as at August 2024, what the like, the subscribe, and the comments do for the community. So I believe that hitting the like button will let the YouTube gods know that this video is worth watching, at which time they will recommend it to more people. So in the interest of getting the word out there and supporting our fellow brothers and sisters with this amazing content, please smash that like. Subscribe button will obviously subscribe you to the channel, have you join our beautiful community. The bell will allow you to know when I upload something. It isn't overly regular, so the bell's probably a good idea. Comments give you a chance to let me know what you enjoy seeing, what you don't enjoy seeing, any supports that you'd like research, you'd like to know more about. Chuck them in there and I will do my best to fulfill those wishes. Should a time come where the channel is making some spendoolies, a bit of dollars, then I will be donating anywhere from 28% to 42%. Generally, somewhere in the vicinity of 35 to causes that benefit mental health and substance use. Yeah, be that education, services directly, any fundraising that's going on around mental health and substance use. So I promise to donate between that area. Any other cash will go into production costs, because as you can see, this channel needs it. Feel safe in knowing that anything made by this channel is going to help those people out there. So bringing us better information, better services, and hopefully for the generations that follow. Travel gently. Peace out. Ciao.